Hi, I'm Suzan McDowell, President and CEO of Circle of One Marketing. I have a show now, Community Newspapers. I got to figure out a name for the show. So what do you guys think of Twisted Sister? Let me know. If that doesn't work, I need some help. So here I am again. We're doing our Juneteenth show. And I'm so excited to talk to Richard Campbell, who is the Rock King. I like to call him Rocky. And he's going to talk to us about, his project GeoAG, which is super fascinating. And then we're going to talk about Juneteenth. And then we're going to talk about ABFF, and we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. But I am very happy to be here and honored to be here with Mr. Richard Campbell. You want to introduce yourself, Richard?
Hello, I'm Richard Campbell. I'm the founder of Geological Agriculture, or GeoAG. It's the study of growing study of growing plants and rocks without soil and fertilizer. And so happy to be here on the show today with Miss McDowell, and thank you for having me.
All right, you got to look at me.
Oh, look at you.
Just look at me in the face because you're talking to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Camera. Like, hi, camera.
Hi, camera.
I want to be on the camera.
No, don't look at camera. No.
Okay.
I know. So we're here today. I wanted to first talk about Juneteenth.
Okay.
So, which I love my Juneteenth graphic. Don't
Beautiful.
you love my Juneteenth graphic? Thank you. So Juneteenth is the date that slaves in Texas, Galveston to be exact, were finally told, you're free. So the rest of the country knew the slaves were free 2 solid years before. It finally got around to telling the 250,000 people that were in Texas, by the way, you're free. So, which happened on June 19th, 1865, I believe. And so that is why it's called Juneteenth, like 19th. And happily, in 2021, the federal government made Juneteenth a federal holiday.
Awesome.
So I'm assuming that everyone listening to this program, if it's before June 19th, that you are taking the day off, because that's what it's for, is to celebrate freedom. So getting into it, glad to have you here, Mr. Campbell.
Glad to be here.
So what is GeoAG?
So GeoAG is geological agriculture. So GeoAG is the short version of geological agriculture, and it's the study of growing plants and rocks versus soil. And so we're growing plants and rocks without soil and without fertilizer. And so we figured out how to harness the mineral value of rocks to grow your corn and basil and beans and cucumbers and lettuce and all sorts of plants using rocks from the hardware store. And so it's a new area of research that I'm a part of, and I lead along with over 100 PhDs around the U.S.
Got it. And around the world, right?
Yes. We are in about 15 African countries. We just opened up operations in the Dominican Republic. We have new affiliates in the Galapagos Island, Ecuador. We have folks in China. And so different countries around the world have volunteered their faculty or private sector people, leaders, to join in and figure out what rocks are all about and kind of bring it to their country. We even have some universities in India looking at geological agriculture. And a lot of times we try to pair the universities in these countries with our universities in the United States. We work exclusively in the United States with HBCUs, and we've got about 24 active HBCUs and about 52 that has a GeoAg point of contact.
Got it. So I know we were talking about the fact that you're global and the fact that clearly rocks are not the same in Texas as they are in, Mumbai.
Right.
So tell us, like, how do you harness different kinds of rocks with different kinds of minerals? Like, how does that work when they're all so different?
Well, it's very interesting. GeoAg opens up a lot of new research possibilities because of that fact. With all the different rocks around the world being different than one another, and their age different. So some rocks are young, that's straight out of a volcano. They're just a few days old.
Those are young rocks?
Yeah.
Volcano rocks. The hot rocks.
Well, when the lava goes up, shoots in the air, boom, and all the lava shoots up, It hits the sky.
Yeah.
That lava cools.
Cools.
It makes rocks.
Awesome. So those are new rocks.
Those are new rocks.
Those are like, hey, we just got here rocks.
Hey, we just got here rocks.
Awesome. And then the old rocks.
Most of the other rocks, non-volcanic, that's when the volcano made the rock, is 50 million to 4 billion years old.
Oh, that's pretty old.
It's pretty old. And so all rocks are minerals. And so all around the earth, they're all different minerals. So the rocks in the oceans and in the lands and in your countries, they're all very different. And so we show people and universities and researchers and citizens how to measure the mineral value of your rock and use that minerals to grow your plant. So you can have a rock that puts out maybe 5% potassium. Potassium is one of the main ingredients that plants need to grow.
Okay.
Or you can have a rock that puts out 7,000% potassium.
Excitement.
There's big excitement there. It's really super exciting because we don't know what that plant will look like in that super high mineral value rock. We just know that in the lower mineral value rocks, the plants look great.
Got it. So it should look even greater if it's a higher mineral
even
rock.
greater. And you speak about around the world. I brought on the show today our guest plant.
Our guest plant?
Hello,
we have a guest plant?
We have a
Our
guest plant straight out of the GeoAg world.
A guest plant.
Yes.
Crazy got a guest plant.
Look at her. It's black-eyed peas and lentils.
Lovely.
And we chose those seeds because you can buy them in the bean section at your grocery store. So little known fact is that the beans in the bean section of your grocery store, kidney beans, navy beans, black-eyed peas, are also seeds.
Yeah. You plant them.
You can plant them.
Oh, you're saying that the beans itself are seeds.
The beans itself are seeds. So you buy a bag of beans and you make one meal of chili with kidney beans. Or you can take that bag of beans and grow 400 plants.
Ooh. So I know you were doing something in Namibia, right?
Yeah.
So are there? So when we talked about it, Namibia is a place that doesn't have a lot of greenery, which means that the ability to grow greenery in rocks becomes way more valuable than a place that's easy for them to grow greenery. So are there different kinds of plants, fruits, whatever, that will grow in different kinds of soils?
So yes, there in general, soil, the way seeds react in soil from California versus soil in Namibia is going to be very different.
Rocks.
In soil. But in rock, it's even more different because there is so many different variations of rock in any given country. Namibia is a project that's for later in the year, but that's where one of the multinational entities is bringing us there to kick off GeoAg in Namibia. Now, Namibia is a desert country, so it's only small in population, only about 6 million people in population. So we're really excited about going to Namibia because it's all rock and sand, and those are the basic ingredients of GeoAg. And so we're looking at being able to really green up that place, but more importantly, it's only 6 million people. So when Team GeoAg has to think about adoption in the community or GeoAg in the community, we have plans for like New York City that has 19 million people, or we have plans for the Dominican Republic that's 23 million people for the whole country. And so, or a 6 million people country, which is easier because it's less people to solve the equation solve the problem for.
Well, so most people expect a plant to grow out of soil, right? So you've patented and created the way, just the mechanism, however it goes, to grow plants out of rocks. So really, for a lot of these places, and people, they discount rocks. Yeah, the rocks are on the ground. You see them all the time, so they're not special because you see them all the time. But really and truly, if people are not looking to rocks to grow anything, you're literally making something out of nothing.
Yeah, basically because we see rocks as nothing.
Exactly.
And we go a step further with GeoAct because the study of rock is best done with recycled plastic because it's clear.
Okay, all right.
And
So let's
that's
talk
why-
about that. That's right here. Let's talk
that's
about
why-
this plant.
Yeah, because so
Start from the beginning.
So I was a Peace Corps volunteer in Mali, West Africa, and as a volunteer, you want to use the materials around you to solve your solutions.
Indigenous stuff. Yeah.
So we don't want, it's called appropriate technology. The only technology that's appropriate is what is around you. And so when we uncovered the realities of GeoAg, we figured out that plastic containers are best suited for because we can make the necessary holes in it to aerate and allow the container to breathe. Our normal pots and containers aren't suitable for rocks because a vase, it'll drown the system and it won't work well. And so recycled plastic holds water well, and you can see through it.
So
So
you
that
can see what
means
it's
you
doing.
can study the root behavior and it's clear, and you're recycling. And so we have this big recycling program where we want to take all the plastics out of the system and turn it into food producing containers because they're ideal for rocks.
Got it.
And so
that's such a
that's what
like
we got there.
the idea can really solve a lot of problems because you're talking
Yeah.
about creating food in food deserts. You know what I mean?
Food in food deserts, greenery in real deserts.
Yeah.
Access to nutrition where there's malnutrition.
There's no nutrition. Yeah.
When there's no, because look at this. This is trash. This is basically rocks, trash. Recycled
yeah.
plastic.
Yeah.
A paper towel at the bottom to
Yeah.
bring in water.
Yeah.
And then there's a drip tray that it sits on, and now we have 3 or 4 weeks later.
So there's going to be
green.
beans coming off of this.
There's going to be beans
At some
coming off
point.
of that. And you see how many plants there are in that small space. So the density of growth is a lot better.
How many beans is that going to grow? Was that a stupid question?
Well, no, it's not. Outdoors, if you do a nice plant outdoors, one bean can probably make like 40 new beans.
Ooh.
Okay?
Those are great numbers.
That's again, indoors like this, where you don't have the sunlight, it's intermittent. I leave, I travel, it gets dry, trying to keep it alive. I might get 10 beans for
so the
every
sun.
bean. So the sun,
propofol.
the sun is a whole thing.
What's it called?
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis. I knew that. I knew that.
Photosynthesis. And with GeoAg, photosynthesis also happens with regular light. It's just not the same intensity as with sunlight.
Got
So
it.
these plants will grow well indoors.
Got it. So I know that you are making your rounds across South Florida because he's trying to do a rock domination. But good for you, no problem. So tell us about
Rockimation. I said rockimation.
rockimation. So yeah, all he talks about all day long are rocks. So tell us about rocks. Tell us about some of the places that you have infiltrated with your rocks.
Infiltrated.
I know you're an infiltrator.
Shared. We've shared rocks. Mainly, we start with the
You've
HBCUs.
accosted everyone and forced them.
The rocks are here.
Force them.
It's time to study
Yes,
them.
we're going to talk about rocks today, basically, is what he does. Go ahead.
Yes, so we like the universities first.
Yep.
Because it's kind of they're the ones who help us define rocks in a local jurisdiction. You talked about rock differences. So in South Florida, that's Florida Memorial University. They're our premier rock school. They just hosted our 3rd annual conference. We had 29 speakers talking about GeoAg from all these different academic circles and communities. We had 13 PhDs from 8 HBCUs. And so good programming from Florida Memorial. So they are like our flagship research partner in South Florida.
Gotcha. Because you have 24 HBCUs.
Yeah, up and down the East Coast.
Got it.
We have also collaborations with FAMU here in Florida, but then next up in Georgia, we have Savannah State, Fort Valley University,
Got it.
Clark, Atlanta University. We're doing some great plastics, GeoAct plastics programming there. Morehouse, we're doing GeoAg in the business school in the metaverse.
Yeah.
So each of the schools, but back down here in Miami, other places that have decided to bring on GeoAg into their establishments is the Namibia Contemporary Gallery in Little Haiti.
Yep.
And there we're on a 6-inch wide.
Lauren, hi.
Hey, Jemima.
Hey, Jemima, Lauren, hi.
It's
Now
about
the gallery, we love them.
6 inches wide, and a lot of the images I sent 6 inches wide by like 50 feet long.
Got it. We're going to look at some of those
GeoAg.
images. we're going to, there we go.
Okay,
Look,
now
grapes.
this image here is the first time we've actually got the GeoAg grapes to go well. Usually by now the deer have come and eaten me clean. I gotta wait the whole year again to get the grapes back. And so this year we do have grapes growing in Maryland. We're trying to look at GeoAg wine options and programs to look at the wine community.
Got it.
I know.
All right, let's just slide
Okay,
through
now
these.
here is at the GeoArt Gallery, the Namibia Contemporary Gallery. That's corn growing right now alongside a mural. That mural right there, that's the first official mural of GeoAg.
Oh,
because the
excitement.
artist made the mural with GeoAg sensibilities in mind.
Gotcha.
So it led to this big 20-foot tall by 80 feet long mural in Little Haiti.
Oh, that's cool.
It's an agriculture mural.
Cool.
Here we have a palm tree. Also, a little palm tree spore fell into the rocks. And pow, we have a Chinese fan palm.
From rocks?
From rocks. Yeah,
don't know why I'm so surprised.
we're about to
Okay.
transplant that palm tree to a pot at the Namibia Gallery. And now we're going to look at more palm trees.
Wow.
Can we make, is it how
Because
easy
this was
and
a
predictable?
surprise. Like you hadn't.
This was a surprise.
Yeah. Interesting.
Here we have black-eyed beans. Now this is at the Historic Ward Rooming House in Overtown.
Christopher Norwood.
Christopher Norwood's
who we
place.
love.
He has opened up his place to be a rock showcase and showroom for our food desert displays. Both of these organizations and art galleries are in food deserts. So we're trying to turn them into a beacon of the modern food desert now has food in it.
Got it.
And that the people can grow all around their homes or inside, because these kind of beans right there, those are black beans, bought from the grocery store, planted there. They grow. Now we got a mess of beans.
Wow.
And so to show that the food desert situation is within reach, we're using recycled plastic, and the cheapest of the items in the grocery store, a bag of beans is $1.50. A bag of rocks for your home, for yourself, is $3.
Yeah.
So
for
you're talking
$4.50, you got beans upon beans upon beans.
upon beans upon beans. As long as you know how to use the rocks.
Got it. Which is the process that you patented.
But we put it in the book.
Oh yes, the book.
There's
I
a
forgot.
book. We've got books.
There's
look at the lettuce.
a
That's
book.
lettuce. That's also at the Namibia Gallery, growing right now. And we take these pictures and we post them on our Instagram to kind of show people what we're doing.
Got it.
But rocks are not intuitive, so you really need to read the book
Got it.
to
Read the
understand what to do, because we've been doing it for 25 years. Actually, since 1994. And that's
exciting.
basil. That basil is an anomaly basil. That basil's been around for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And we take pieces of it, we eat it all out, and it keeps coming back. So
That's exciting.
Lauren and the family over there, and Jemane, and the daughter Taki, they are all over that basil all the time.
Well, we love our friends at the Namibia Gallery, which is approximately 65th and Northeast 2nd. And then our very dear friend Christopher Norwood at the Ward Rooming House, which is 9th and Northwest 3rd approximately. So,
Yep.
Okay, so now we're gonna goodbye rocks. Bye, rock
Bye.
plant.
Oh, follow us on Instagram at Tosoiless, TOSOILLESS.
There we go.
You can get the book,
On
River
Instagram.
Stones Grow Plants.
He's a promotional beast, in case you couldn't figure that out. Okay, so now you have another project, which this weekend, because it's Juneteenth, there's so many things happening, so many celebrations, which we're going to get to later. And one of the best celebrations is the American Black Film Festival. This is its 27th year.
Yes.
It's here in Miami. It's on the beach. Last night was a very fabulous, legendary white party. There are movies and showcases and panels and anything you wanted to know about Black people in basically the movie world. The movie world is in the American Black Film Festival. So they premiered films like Black Panther, films like The Woman King. You know, these things that went on to be blockbusters were premiered at American Black Film Festival. So It's apparently sold out. However, there are individual parties and different events that you can actually purchase tickets for. It's all happening on South Beach. A lot of the movies are at the New World Center. Some of the activities are also at the Miami Beach Convention Center. And Richard has his own event that we're going to talk about very briefly that has nothing to do with rocks. So, go ahead.
Well, everything has a little bit to do with rocks, right? Everything, right? Of course. But yes, we do have our friends from Fulton County. You know, when you see the Georgia peach on the back of movies, that's because Georgia offers a lot of filmmakers incentives to shoot films in Georgia. So they're doing outreach at film festivals like ABFF and organizing special events. And so I'm working with the Fulton County Film Office to help them organize an event here in Miami during the ABFF at the Latin Beach 9 restaurant. It's a very nice place, nice screens, and they're going to have a networking reception hosted by Commissioner Marvin Arrington Jr. and actor Lamont Rucker.
I love him.
Yeah, he's great.
I love him.
He's great. And so they're hosting a reception and kind of bringing the message to filmmakers. Come on to Georgia. Shoot your next film project in Georgia. Now, how is there a GeoAct tie? Well, there was a couple film projects. So at this same event, we're showcasing a few films that were shot in Fulton County. One of them is Bowlegs. That's the story of Marvin Arrington Sr., an Atlanta pioneer who helped build the city. But another film is a short, 22 minutes. It's called Hope for Healthy Foods. It's a documentary of the realities of the food deserts in Atlanta. Which GeoAG was filmed as an alternative in supporting the food deserts in Atlanta.
So
we do have a small
you have your
role.
rock domination.
The Rockimation is in the film. It's a part of this movie.
It's never not.
It just made now filmmakers are making films with GeoAct themes or sensibilities or some knowledge about it, which is also why we also engage filmmakers.
Got it. Well, I think it's really awesome that that Georgia has recognized that the ABFF, which is in Miami, which for a reason, that that Miami actually also can contribute to Georgia. So, and we love Georgia. So that event is happening when? Tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow afternoon. And it's a closed event, but it's going to be really amazing. We're going to have some great pictures on the Instagram and social medias afterwards. But it should be a nice event for the festival goers of ABFF to attend. Okay,
so ABFF is going on this weekend. You can also follow them on Instagram. And thank you, by the way, Yvette Harris, who is also always so kind to us, and she has been the longtime publicist of ABFF, and she's a colleague and a friend. So hi, Yvette. So there are several events happening across South Florida, which I wanted to talk about. Saturday, our client, the 10 North Group, is presenting its own Juneteenth celebration, which it starts at 10 a.m. with a gallery talk about the new exhibition called Flashpoints. And Flashpoints is a series of photographs that were social justice photographs that were taken, many, many years ago, black and whites, that are going to be showcased at the Arc, which is at 675 Alibaba Avenue. That starts at 10. At 11 a.m., we're going to have a jazz brunch with local jazz songstress Lisa Richards. And that's from 11 to 1. And then at 2 p.m. to 7, the City of Opa-locka and 10 North Group has gotten together to present a Juneteenth Family Festival, which will be rides and games and food trucks and people and live music and vendors. It's going to be a lot of fun in Opa-locka this Saturday, June 17th. And please go to olcdc.org/Juneteenth. All of these events in Opa-locka, which are all Saturday the 17th of June, are free and open to the public. So please come down to Opa-locka on Saturday. June 17th for the Juneteenth celebration. There are other Juneteenth events happening, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention them. Probably one of the biggest ones is also our client, the City of Miami Gardens, who we love. And the City of Miami Gardens is having a huge park in and party at Hard Rock Stadium. Saturday starts at 5 o'clock. Vehicles only, so no walk-ups. There are live music performances by local artists, Baljeezy, Gia Wire, Ronnie VOP, who's a sweetheart. And there's also a car show. So a lot going on in the City of Miami Gardens. And also, too, Miami Gardens has turned 20 this year, so we always want to celebrate Miami Gardens. So that you can find that on Eventbrite. So it's called Park In and Party. You can only go in a vehicle, so do not try to walk in. There's also great opportunities. Delray Beach has a Celebrate Our Kings Day, which is at Pompey Park. Also, our other client, Circle of One's client, is the City of Miramar. It's also having a Juneteenth Family Day on Juneteenth itself. So those are some of the events that are happening. There's just so many more events to talk about. But really, I want everyone to just, understand that Juneteenth is a very serious and special holiday for the Black community nationally, which is why it's a federal holiday, because it really is. We finally have gotten seen by the federal government for, not for what we went through, because there's really no way to quantify that, but an acknowledgement of the fact that there was slavery and then there was a freedom. So Juneteenth for the Black community and for all the community, it should be a day of freedom. And that's what we're going to celebrate all weekend in Opelika and Miami Gardens. Overtown is going to be celebrating. Chris has an event. The Ward Rooming House has an event Saturday night, which is where I will be after my Opelika event. So anyway, there's events all over the place. Do you have anything to add to our Juneteenth? I have 1 minute.
Well, at the event that Chris is doing, we've got black eyed peas and tomatoes and zinnia flowers and corn growing. So the guests at that event will see some GeoAG in action. Again, GeoAG is everywhere.
GeoAG is everywhere.
Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Say just special shout out to Jeff Friday, Jeff and Nicole Friday at ABFF.
Shout out to Jeff Friday
for just
and ABFF.
continuing
27 years.
Yeah,
it's forever.
Yeah, they've been doing a real good job.
Yeah. So congratulations to Jeff.
Yeah.
And Gina. And everything, all of the films that they've managed to premiere over the years, and all of the, the money that they help to generate in the industry. So I believe we're out of time, correct, Alex? Oh no, we have 2 more minutes. What are you going to talk about for 2 more minutes?
Well, we can talk about what else we're doing with rocks if you want.
No, there's got to be something more than rocks.
Okay, so let's talk about ABFF.
Let's talk about ABFF.
They are doing a big thing. And let's talk about what Fulton County is doing
let's talk
with
about
their films. I mean, just the amount of films being shot there.
We're going to stick with Miami. We're going to stick with Miami.
Well, then let's just talk about ABFF.
Let's just talk about
They come down to Miami. They really kill it.
I actually really
Juneteenth. Want to do some Juneteenth?
Want to be talking about Opelika, which is where I need to go back to Opelika.
Yep. Tell us a little bit about Opelika.
The 10 North Group, which is our client, which is formerly the OLCDC, Opelika Community Development Corporation, which was founded and is run by Dr. Willie Logan, has really started to put Opelika on the map regarding art and art's relation to real estate. So as we know, real estate, art always appreciates everything. So once art is involved, real estate gets, it appreciates. So Logan is traveling all over the African continent to bring art from the African diaspora back to Opelika. So I know we're going to have a whole big thing in Opelika for Art Basil as well. And then next Friday in Opelika, we are having a hip-hop event, which will be a hip-hop panel with Isaiah Smalls, Marlon Hill, Papa Keith, Shanae Hardy, and Philip Agnew, who are all going to be talking about the 50 years of hip-hop and the Caribbean's influence in hip-hop.
Nice.
And that's next Friday, the 23rd, also at the Arc in Opelika, 675 Alibaba Avenue, Miami, Opelika. So Okay, I think we're done now. And
Excellent.
we're completely done, right, Alex? So as you can see, this is time number 2 for me. I'm going to get this down properly. I mean, it's going to be slick any minute now. But for now, we're putting it together.
Well, you do well by Opalaka. You definitely keep that in everybody's mind. Everyone's seeing it. You're doing a lot of great events there. So kudos to you,
Thank you.
Ms. McDowell, for really sticking with Opalaka and keeping them on the map.
Yes. Miami Gardens,
Miami
Overtown,
Gardens, yeah.
Liberty City, North Miami, we are luckily, Circle of One Marketing, which is my agency, is positioned in all of those cities. So we're very happy to be a part of it, be part of the Black conversation in South Florida. So now I'm going to look at this camera because this is my goodbye camera. Thank you so much for showing up today. If you're watching this after Juneteenth, well, you missed all these events if you didn't go. If you did go, thank you for going. And the next time I will be on doing this, I believe it's next Thursday, the 22nd. And after that, I'm going to Portugal for Afro Nation, just so y'all know. All right.